I'm going to show you how to create a bill of materials and create a drawing with that exploded view and the bill of materials. So you'll notice I'm in a file. It's called IED Puzzle Assembly 1, and I have my fully assembled puzzle cube. If I come to my exploded views and I double click on it, I'll see my exploded view, and I'm going to go into isometric mode and just make sure that I can see it and it looks good. So if for some reason puzzle pieces are covering each other in the isometric view, you can click on them and move them as you need to. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is create a parts list or a bill of materials. And to do that, I'm going to go to the BOM table tab. Okay, when I do that, you'll notice that I have a bill of materials that's set up. OnShape recognizes that I have 5 parts in here, and it recognizes that there's one of each part. I'm going to right-click on part number and remove the column. I'm going to right-click on description and remove that column, and I'm going to add another column. And the column I'm going to choose is called name. So you'll notice if you've named all of your parts properly, they'll show up here. If you see anything that says part 1, that's telling you that one of your parts was not named properly. So let's just double click the brown and let's right click that and rename it so that we can see if you change the file name. I'm going to change that to brown in all caps. Okay, I'm going to go back to my file and you'll notice it changes here. So if you didn't name your parts properly, you can fix them. Okay, so now that I have my bill of materials, I can create a drawing. And I'm going to do that by clicking on the plus sign and choosing Create Drawing. Okay, I'm going to choose my inch template. And one thing, I'm going to fix this later, but we'll do this now. So I'm not going to insert parts. I'm going to insert an assembly. And my assembly is called IED Puzzle Assembly 1. So I'm going to choose that. And when I do, you'll notice if I just place this, it would give me the fully assembled puzzle, and that's not what I want. So let's go up to Explode Position and choose Explode 1. Okay, it might take a minute to render itself. Okay, you'll notice this is from the front view, and I can't really see my parts very well. So I'm going to change that to isometric. And it's too big, so I'm going to come in here and change my scale 1 to 2. Okay, let's see if it will take care of itself. Okay, I'm a little impatient, so I'm going to click and apply that, and then I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to come in here and change my scale to 1 to 2. Okay, and I can move this up. I'm going to right click on my exploded view, and I'm going to say Show Shaded View. Okay, and it will show me the parts. Okay, so I'm going to move this over a little bit because the next thing I'm going to do is insert my bill of materials. And I'm going to do that by choosing the BOM table. And I'm going to place it right here. Okay, once I've placed it, it's a little tricky to move it sometimes, but I can move it and put it where I want. And you'll see now that I have each of my parts named, and I know there's one of them, and they're all labeled with a number. So we want to label each of these parts. We'll do that by clicking on the call out, and then we're going to grab an edge and drag it, and this is part 4, the orange piece. Okay, this is part 5, the red. This is part 2, the brown. This is part 1, the green. And this is part 3, the blue. Okay, and now we have an exploded view of all the parts that make up our puzzle cube. We have names and we have quantities. And here's our bill of materials. A couple things we might want to do. So first thing here, I'm going to come down and I'm going to just make this text box bigger because my part is my puzzle cube. I'm going to come in here and instead of calling this drawing 3, I'm going to call this puzzle assembly BOM. Okay, and again, I can drag out this text box and make it bigger. While I'm in here, I noticed that I don't like the way my logo looks, so I'm just going to make my logo a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to center it so it's inside the confines of that box. Okay, and I'm done. Your job is going to be to print this as a PDF, attach it to the assignment, and turn it in.